Ladies and gentlemen, this is Football Primetime. We are brought to you courtesy of Primetime Radio, Mr. Sam Wu. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us 5-star reviews, thumbs up, everything possible. We are here for a very special event, the NFL Draft. As you can see in the background, we can't really show you it very nicely because we copyright laws, but there's something behind my head you can maybe peek out every once in a while. But yeah, NFL draft time, the only time of year where a Jets fan can be somewhat positive about his team, right up until the draft. And then once they make the pick, it immediately goes downhill and you become a Jet fan again where you are unhappy. So
that's debatable, though.
Yeah, it's debatable, but I mean, think about all the drafts of recent memory. You had the trade up for Mark Sanchez, where all the but that was a trade up, and if you remember rightly, everyone was excited. They were like, "Oh, we get a quarterback," and then the Jets did something very bad and won a game, and immediately got Wilson instead of a better quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. But so Jets fans can continually think back on drafts and. Oh, it was so nice getting Sheldon Richardson, and it was so great trading up, for Mark Sanchez, and oh man, that pick for Leonard Williams, that just fantastic. It keeps going and going. Oh, Kyle Wilson, we have Darrelle Revis, we have Antonio Cromartie. Let's bring in that third corner, Kyle Wilson, to really just solidify that cornerback room. That's what happens as a Jet fan, right? You're miserable and unhappy, and. No, but like I said, it's draft time. Right until they make that pick, you're excited, and you hope that your team makes the decision that every fan wants to see, and everybody's the GM, and you'll see in a couple minutes with my mock draft that we'll go through my GMing skills.
It's pretty terrible, but
yeah, I immediately regret 2 of my picks in the top 10. So that makes sense, especially because I did this last week, and then you get the news that, Carolina doesn't want to take a quarterback so early. So pick 6, Kenny Pickett, not going to happen anymore, even though he, Matt Rule recruited him at Temple. He's wanted Kenny Pickett. He didn't get him. So maybe this year he would want Kenny Pickett. Nope. He wants to save his job. So he's going to get the best player available. And that is not Kenny Pickett at number 6. And then, let's go to Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons get rid of their quarterback and, Matt Ryan. And here comes, quarterback of the future, Marcus Mariota. Oh, wait, maybe we could draft someone like Malik Willis behind him at pick 8, sit him for a little bit. Nah, he's not good enough for Atlanta Falcons. So there goes my second pick in the top 10. That's most likely not going to happen. But all right. So, AJ, as a football fan, as someone, that also gets up for this day, what are you looking for? What will make this a successful draft for A, the Jets, and then B, just overall, give us us and your, myself, your impressions of the draft and what you like.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think for any draft, right, you're looking for the excitement. You're looking for, if you're a fan of your team, right, you're looking for that home run pick that that couldn't be, is like the perfect pick, right? I think anybody can go wrong with picking Aiden Hutchinson. Looks like the Jaguars might lean Trayvon Walker from everything that's come out in the past 24 hours, which is surprising to me. But I mean, who knows? That's the draft. Maybe Walker with more upside, so that has the better overall career, but. I mean, to me, I think people kind of overanalyze things, right? Just go with the guy that is a freak athlete that is hands down the best pick. So I think that's exciting though. Just looking for those guys that you've seen in college, just monsters, kind of be able to live their dream. And I'm hoping for some screw ups here and there with some of the teams that we play against, and the Dolphins, with the Patriots, and obviously the Bills. I'm hoping they get some guys that don't necessarily turn out or pan out well for them at least. That's always nice. And I mean, I'm just excited. It's the start of a new season. It feels like, right? We've had a lot of great off, a lot of great free agency so far. So I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm hoping maybe there's a trade in here or something to kind of spice things up. See if we get a team or two to trade a draft pick or two draft picks for somebody like maybe Debo Samuel,
Yep.
or something like that with some of these wide receivers that are a little disgruntled right now, but. No, I mean it's going to be an exciting 2+ hours. It's going to be exciting first 10 picks. We'll see what teams are value and what they're looking for to build their futures. So
yeah. So, as we go into this, we did want to go through our mock draft. We are currently a little less than 7 minutes away from number one pick being on the board, which I always hated that you give the first team an extra 10 minutes to make this pick. Who's there? You've known this pick for forever. And if there's a trade being in the works and we're going to give extra 10 minutes, this should have been done before. You should announce the first pick to start the draft and then give the next time 10 minutes. But they don't do that, so most likely the first pick won't be done, which is ridiculous, until another 16 minutes. So we're currently, waiting that countdown, and we just want to go through some things. First of all, in my view, this draft is mostly – it's a little underwhelming in that there's no big quarterbacks, and that's always what brings you into a draft and always makes you, enthralled and entertained. You could think of, any of the drafts from Johnny Manziel to last year, Trevor Lawrence, to even when, Jamarcus Russell, and you have a name and you have a quarterback, you Peyton Manning, you have all these guys, right? And that's what you look for in the draft is teams traded up because they want that player. A lot of movement, even the second or third quarterback is always within play within that top 10, 20 picks. That's not really the case in this draft. The big thing for this draft, and things I've also heard from different scouts and reading things and watching college football, is this draft, usually there's, 18 to 20 some odd, real true first round talent grades. And from what I've seen, people think that it's more of the 12 to 16, true first round grade players. Like if you think about last year, and some of the players that were taken there, the first two linemen taken, Slater, I think, was the second lineman taken, and scouts think that he would be the first lineman taken off the board this year. You have someone next year in Will Anderson for Alabama, the defensive end, who's they say he's lights out. He's one of the best defensive end prospects to come around in generations. He would be a slam dunk number one in this draft. Same thing with the quarterbacks for next year. They don't really have that this year. They have, Aiden Hutchinson's probably the best all-around defensive end in this draft. Trayvon Walker's more of the, he's the super prospect, his intangibles and his measurables and just his athletic, freak of nature kind of thing, that he could be the best defensive end. Then you have someone like Kayvon Thibodeau, who last year was supposed to be in for the number one pick, and now everybody questions his love of football. So, you have the defensive ends seem to be where everybody wants to go, and I think to be, that's where the big value is in this draft. And then the same thing with wide receivers. You have Derek London from USC. I personally think that Garrett Wilson's a better prospect, and I think that Garrett Wilson, I think that the first 9 picks will go mostly defensive ends, corners, tackles. But I think right where the Jets pick at 10 is the prime spot to get a wide receiver, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But, you think about the guys, Derek London, like I said, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams from Bama. Derek London. Drake London. Sorry, I misspelled it on this stupid thing. Then you have Chris Olave from Ohio State. And then you got a bunch of other guys in that second, third round that are, interesting, and we'll get through those. But just for the quick mock, we had Jacksonville Jaguars taking Trayvon Walker just because of what we've heard recently. I still think, Aiden Hutchinson would be the better get, but everything you see from their GM, he loves measurables, and he always goes for, the guys with the premier talent, and I think that's Trayvon Walker. So, I think that he goes number 1 to Jacksonville. Number 2, the Michigan star goes to the Detroit Lions, stays in Michigan, stays close to home. Aiden Hutchinson, we have at that 2 mark. Number 3 is where it gets interesting. A lot of teams think that Houston could go anywhere from lineman to tackle to even picking someone like Sauce Gardner, Ahmed Gardner, the cornerback from Cincinnati.
Pretty much anything, any position on the field, they could go.
Yeah, and this would be a prime time spot for if there was a quarterback that someone really wanted to jump up and get something would be here. But honestly, there's just nothing, between Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Stingley. It's not Matt Corral. There's just not a spot for them to be taken, in this top 10, even 15. I'd think more of in the, late teens, right around 20 mark to the Steelers. But, Kayvon Thibodeau, I have going to the, so at 3, Houston Texans, I have Ike Ekwonu from NC State, the tackle, graded the best offensive tackle right now in the draft. At 4, I do have the Jets going after Kayvon Thibodeau. It's something that they need. They've needed a defensive end for a while now, someone to play on the other side from Carl Lawson. I know that the love of football stuff, is kind of been a red flag, but as I see it, he's going to want to make his money, and that means he's going to play his ass off to get that second contract. And as a GM, if you can get a guy to a second contract, you've won that pick. And I think that this is the premier spot for him to go in and take him and have that be your guy for the future, bookend defensive ends. And I just think it's the right move. So I do have Kayvon Thibodeau, but I could definitely see I could definitely see.
I wouldn't mind them drafting Gardner, the cornerback from Cincinnati. Having a shutdown cornerback like him, a lot of people are saying that he could be potentially the best pick, out of this whole entire draft. Having a shutdown corner, you see what happens when teams have that against, especially against, the wide receivers wouldn't be going against, right, in the AFC East for the Jets. It might not be a bad idea to draft somebody like him, and have him be the staple of your defense. So,
yep. Okay, so we go to the New York Giants at number 5, and I've seen pretty much any tackle slated to them at 5. Icky if he falls. I've seen Evan Neal, which is the pick I have at number 5. I've also seen Charles Cross, which apparently they like a lot from Mississippi State. I could see him definitely going there. I think he's a little lesser of a talent than Evan Neal, so that's why I would go with him a product. But I do have Evan Neal going to them at number 5, but I wouldn't be surprised to really see any of the top 3 tackles going to them. At number 6, I did put Kenny Pickett here for the Carolina Panthers. This was last week. Up until recently, we heard the news that Carolina does not want to take a quarterback at that spot, so that's kind of screwed up my mock draft just a little bit, but I did have them going there. At 7, the New York Giants. And really 6 at Carolina Panthers. I could see a tackle going. I could see a bunch of different things happening at the number 6 pick for Carolina. At number 7, and if the New York Giants can go to this podium as quickly as possible to get Ahmed Sauce Gardner at number 7, the cornerback from Cincinnati, that's one hell of a draft to get Evan Neal and Sauce Gardner at your top 2 picks. And I think Giants fans would go gaga for something like that.
I was saying, potentially Thibodeau falling all the way down to them. And them drafting him with that pick, which same thing, right? I would think that'd be a steal having any of those guys at that pick.
Yeah. So Sauce Gardner going at 7. Number 8, I did have Malik Willis. Once again, Atlanta's not going to do a quarterback, so this would change a little bit. I could see them going from tackle to defensive end to even a wide receiver. From there you go to number 9, Seattle Seahawks, trading into the first round only because they dealt their star quarterback. They won't take a quarterback here, so I have them taking Jermaine Johnson, the defensive end from Florida State. Now, I've also heard rumblings that the Jets do like Jermaine Johnson, so if they were to take a Ika Mikwanu or a Sauce Gardner at 4. I could see someone like Jermaine Johnson being interesting to them at 10. Right now, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have Jermaine Johnson falling to them at 10. I have him going to 9 to Seattle, but the Jets at 10, I have Drake London. I just wrote it on here wrong, and I'm reading it. The wide receiver from USC. Now, I do think that Garrett Wilson's the better wide receiver, but I just think that the Jets love the height and the ability to do different things with Drake London. He's got the catchable. He's got a huge catch radius. Can get up and get
Mm-hmm.
footballs at 6'5". And I just think that it'd be a good pick for them to take as well. I could also do Garrett Wilson and be very happy about it. But
Yeah. So you can't go wrong
yeah,
with any of those guys, any of those top three
yeah, they
guys.
need it.
If they're there, with Wilson, Williams, or London. Um, I don't disagree. I wouldn't mind having a tall guy like him. Especially being a little bit of a bigger guy.
Yep,
Going up and catching balls. I think
contested
that'd be a good
balls.
pick for
Yep,
them. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll just go a little quicker through here because I know that we are. I think the draft already started technically.
Technically, should
Um,
have.
technically. So here, why don't you go through the next 10 real fast? Kind of give your impression of anything that jumps off the plate to you.
Yeah, going with the Commanders. We have them picking Kyle Hamilton, the safety from
Yep,
Notre Dame. I think that's
and
a
I
good
like
pick
Kyle
for them.
Hamilton.
Shoring up that
It's
defense even
funny.
more.
Yeah, I was just going to say quickly that if the Jets didn't need a wide receiver so badly, and this is partial GM's issue that he didn't go out and get someone at wide receiver in the offseason or through a trade. If they didn't have to take a wide receiver, I would love seeing Kyle Hamilton at 10 to the Jets. And I didn't like that at before, originally because they were talking about Kyle Hamilton at 10 to the Jets. They originally were talking about Kyle Hamilton at 4 to the Jets, and I just thought that was a bad play. There were better, options at 4.
Yeah.
But at
Mhm.
10, I mean, Kyle Hamilton does a lot of awesome things as a football player, from playing in the box, and he's a better version of Jamal Adams in his ability to not only play the box safety role, but to play backwards and cover a little bit. And that's something that Jamal Adams never was for the Jets. And I could just see Kyle Hamilton being a great player for Washington. He's going to be a great player for whoever he goes to. But that's
Yeah.
just a quick little thing I wanted to note.
I'll say, and you never know too, right? Maybe the Jets find a way to make a trade, right, with a team, for one of their wide receivers. You saw what the Dolphins, gave up for Tyreek Hill, right, to the Chiefs. If the Jets are feeling like they can maybe make off that, make a trade with San Francisco for Debo, give up 2, second round picks that they have. Maybe they don't need to go wide receiver, right, with that 10th pick. Maybe they can go, another defensive weapon. So you don't know.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of teams right now with, I think there's 4 or 5 teams, right, with 2 picks in the first round. So
Yeah.
and we could see trades, like that. A star, right, being traded for a couple of picks. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. But at 12, we have the Vikings selecting Derek Singletary, the cornerback from LSU. With their second pick in the first round, the Texans selecting Trent McDuffie, the cornerback from Washington. The Baltimore Ravens then selecting Devin Lloyd, the linebacker. I really like Lloyd. I think he's one of the best linebackers, obviously, in this draft. So, I think that's a great pick for the Ravens. And their defense with their second pick as well. The Eagles. Oh no, sorry, that's their first pick. Is that well
Yep.
with their first pick? Yeah, they'd be taking Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle. I could also see him maybe taking Garrett Wilson there. Just in case they think that maybe another one of the other teams might jump up and try to take him instead
Yep.
of waiting and falling back. The
I,
Saints
I
at
love. Sorry, I was just say
God,
I love Jordan Davis, and there's no way in hell he's falling to the second round. But you talk about a mountain of a man, someone that I could see a team like the Baltimore Ravens even taking him at 14, and then lining him up with Calais Campbell and having the biggest line in football.
mm-hmm, yeah. At the 16th pick, we have Charles Cross going to the Saints. We'll see. Like we kind of mentioned, right? Some of those tackles, the Giants, could potentially, go from. So, we'll see if he's there.
Yep.
Chargers at 17, picking Trevor Penning,
Need a
offensive
tackle.
tackle from Northern Iowa. And then the Eagles at 18, selecting Garrett Wilson, which I think that would be a steal, having him there at 18. And something I would not want to play against, right? With the weapons that they have at wide receiver.
And
No,
and if the Jets were to take Garrett Wilson, they would absolutely die to have Drake London fall to them, because it's a great mix between having the size with him and then someone like who's the wide receiver they took in the first round last year that I'm blowing on from the Bama. But anyways, with the speed and the versatility of the other prospects they have, Jalen Reagor and a couple other guys, that would be a great pick for them.
Yeah. I mean, and again, right, for them, it's more can the quarterback there, right? Can he, put everything together to,
yeah, Jalen Hurts, man,
give him some offense.
Devonta Smith, sorry.
Yeah, Devonta Smith. Yep. At 19, then the Saints picking Jameson Williams, the wide receiver from Bama. Another great pick. Steal there too.
Yep, and he obviously, if he didn't have that knee injury, he would be the first wide receiver taken. I don't even think it's a doubt. And it could still even be a play for the Jets at 10. If they really think that his medicals are cleared and he's to where he needs to be in his recovery, I could see them taking him first off the board, and I can't really fault him for it, because he's clearly the best wide receiver prospect here. It's just injuries.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm watching this. I guess pre-game or pre-draft thing they got going on. Right, it's supposed to start at 8, but they got some other stuff going on right now. Just interesting to see, right? You would think that they would just start at 8, and then they could kind of do this in between. Picking the
Is
draft.
That LL Cool J?
That's Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
So they have to announce, obviously, that it's open. The draft is officially open, 10 minutes after it's supposed to start. But, yeah, it is what it is. At number 20, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we have them selecting quarterback Matt Corral. That's obviously, again, before all that kind of information came out. So, we could definitely see them either picking Pickett or
I could see Kyle Pickett right here. Yep. Or sorry, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
I could see him going to Pittsburgh.
Right. The consensus is that, Pickett is probably the one that's
most NFL ready.
Yeah. Whereas Willis, has the upside. I mean, I think if you're any team, right, picking a quarterback here, I think you got to go with the guy with the upside. You have Trubisky, right, at with the Steelers now. Use him as a bridge. Get the guy that you think has the most upside, and go with that. But at 21, the New England Patriots selecting Dax Hill, cornerback from Michigan.
Yep.
Whatever pick the Patriots choose at. I'm sure every
they
NFL fan is hoping that they suck.
Yeah, they always screw up their first round pick though for some reason. Last couple of years it hasn't been stars, and especially wide receivers when they draft them, they never do well with those. But yeah, I could see Dax Hill being a very good product for them. 22, Green Bay Packers trading. When the Green Bay Packers traded Devontae Adams, they got this pick, and they're going to take Chris Olave, the wide receiver from Ohio State. They can obviously need someone to fill in for Adams. At 23, the Arizona Cardinals taking George Karlaftis, Purdue product, defensive end, very good rushing the passer abilities. Then 24, Dallas Cowboys taking a guard, Zion Johnson from BC. They need some guard and tackle help, so they're looking to fill it in the draft. Buffalo Bills at 25 taking Kenyon Green, the guard from Texas A&M, shoring up that offensive line for Josh Allen. At 26, Titans take Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle Georgia. 27, the Bucks taking Treylon Burks, wide receiver Arkansas. Green Bay then double dipping, getting Travis Jones, the defensive tackle from Connecticut. KC with back-to-back picks, 29 and 30, taking Khair Alam, the cornerback from Florida, and Boye Mafe, the defensive end from Minnesota, shoring up their defense. I could see them also taking a wide receiver, someone like Jahan Dotson, who I've gone to 32 to Detroit. And then 31st pick, Cincinnati Bengals taking Tyler Smith, the tackle from Tulsa. I did 2 rounds real quickly, but just for the locals because no one really cares about anything else. But 35 New York Jets taking Tyler Linderbaum, who I would
love
love
that.
for them to get him to fall to him. The way the draft fell in this mock that I did, he was able to get there, which would be awesome. At 36, the New York Giants taking Arnold. I always mess up this kid's name. Elikidi, the defensive end from Penn State. Some rushing the passer ability. And then at 38, the Jets taking Breece Hall, the running back from Iowa State, a guy that I would think would match up awesomely with Michael Carter. And I would be okay with taking a running back in the second round, even though it's not usually the value. I could also see them taking a tight end there. I could see them, taking another wide receiver if they wanted to. Some other interesting names at 40, the Seattle Seahawks taking Desmond Ridder, the quarterback from Cincinnati. They get someone to groom into their starting role. 47, the Commanders taking Sam Howell, the quarterback from UNC. Buffalo Bills at 57 taking Kenneth Walker, the third, the running back from Michigan, and really shoring up that offense. And then lastly, at 59, Green Bay Packers taking Trey McBride, someone to help out their quarterback and another tight end that Aaron Rodgers can throw to. The big tight end out of Colorado State, the number 1 tight end prospect. So, lots of fun.
Yeah. I was just saying before that there's 8 different teams, right, that have 2 picks in the, first round. No, they're just going over some highlights and stuff like that. Yeah, some of the big boys.
So yeah.
No, so I mean, I think it's interesting, right? You got 8 teams, right, that have 2 first round picks. We'll see if one of these teams makes a trade, right, that they can either recruit more picks or I don't think it'd be a bad idea, right? If the Green Bay Packers, another team that I know I've been saying Deebo Samuel, potentially the Jets, but another team right there, right, that could use a superstar, right, a proven superstar that somebody like Aaron Rodgers could use. Why not trade a late first round pick, right, and another handful of picks, to get somebody like him. I think that'd be a great option for a team like that.
Yep.
So we'll see.
All right, there was a couple things that I saw in regards to the Jets and the draft capital, so I just wanted to quickly. I was looking through, and now I lost it on my photos because I always save them. All right, so if I believe rightly, the Jets have the most draft capital since 1970, and the most picks in the top 40 since the 1980s for the Jets, I think it was. But something that. And 5 picks in the top 3 rounds, which is extremely good. I wouldn't be upset if they took one of those second round picks and traded, it to a team for a first round pick next year, or if they, if someone really wants a quarterback or wants something at that number 10 pick, then maybe dropping back a few picks and getting future draft capital as well. I do think that you do really well as a GM. Trading back and gathering more picks, especially future firsts. So that's why I'm okay with them trading, 35 or 38 to a team for a first round pick if possible. Trading back from 10, like I was saying before, a lot of GMs think that it's the top 15 to 20 guys are really the only first grade talents. So I don't want to drop back too far. You start to lose that talent on the board. Jets, it's going to be exciting. They, the first 2 picks are going to be.
We have a pick. The pick is in, so we're still waiting. That sorry to cut you off. So do you think it'll be a Bill?
Yeah, I think it's Trayvon Walker. From what you're hearing, he's the guy. I don't know that. Jacksonville, they're to match him up with Josh Allen would be fantastic. They have 2 guys with extreme measurables. I'd love to hear what Jared had to say. I actually wasn't able to speak with him about this, but both of these guys are top-end talents in Hutchinson and Walker, and I don't think you can go wrong really with either. It's just one's polished and ready to play now and be a starter and a good player, and the other one has the talent to be the top of the draft. And I really do like what they're able to do in Jacksonville with this defense and building the defense, and then eventually they'll work on stuff for Trevor Lawrence. But they do have Cam Robinson there. They just re-signed, so I can't see a tackle going here, which would be a complete shock. But I just put Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker together, and you have one heck of a defensive group, along with Foley Fatukasi and Roy Robertson Harris, the defensive end tackle for Jacksonville. It's going to be exciting. We'll see what they do, but I think Jacksonville makes the most upside pick.
Yeah.
Here comes the commish actually to talk about it. I like how they do the NFL draft now. It's not not being in New York and in a grand lavish theater. You're out in the open with everybody. They take Trayvon Walker, defensive in Georgia. I mean, the kid just has all the measurables. I was looking through some stuff on him. The big issue that people were having was that he did not have a great season on a team that has so many stars and so many first round talents. Georgia could have 6 first round picks this year. But he's got rare movement skills. He's 275 pounds, 6'5". That first step is ridiculous. He doesn't have necessarily the greatest pass rushing moves, and he's going to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
But he was asked to play consistent outside rusher for the Bulldogs. And he's a strong run defender. He knows how to shed blocks. He's just the freaky athletic traits is where it is with the size and the speed, the power. And he projects as a scheme diverse front 7 player. And he's got the potential to be one of the best defenders from this draft class.
The Lions already have their pick in. I was
good.
So you knew exactly what they were doing then.
Yeah, they ran to the podium to take Aiden Hutchinson. Well, I mean, I would assume it'd be Aiden Hutchinson, but I mean, I can't. This is exactly what they needed. This is exactly what they wanted. And I could just they got what they were looking for with this with their player, and so good for them. Jaguars pulling off the top defensive end prospect, and it's a big difference between last year and this year, right? Last year you knew exactly who they were taking. Weeks, months, basically once the end of the season happened, Trevor Lawrence. And it wasn't, and the excitement for that pick was there. This one's a little more, hey, what are we going to do? What's going on with this team? Where do we want to see, this first player come off the board and what spot? But this, like I said, this helps out their defense. It's someone that matches up very well in Jacksonville. Someone that knows, how to play the run, as a rookie, which is going to be a good thing for them. And he can let someone like Josh Allen go after the passer while he's able to get in there and kind of play, a disruptor role for a little bit. And, eventually those two are going to be really scary.
No, I mean, like I said, I think it's a great pick. Obviously we don't get to see them work out and stuff like that. I think I would have leaned towards Hutchinson.
He was a freak.
Just my opinion. But I don't think you can go wrong with him, especially with all the attributes and things that you have seen kind of on tape with him at Georgia and stuff like that. So I think we're both assuming here, just like everybody else probably that's watching the draft, right, that the Lions now are going Hutchinson. I mean, that's another guy that I'm sure he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, right? Not going 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he was expecting to go 1. On a podcast he was on, he thought that was going to be where he would be. Was in Jacksonville. I mean, now he's the Michigan star, staying. Well, let's see it in 2 seconds, but he's the Michigan star that hopefully will stay in Michigan, in Detroit, and I can see Lions fans going crazy that this is the way it goes. I mean, you get a hometown guy, and he's let's see here. Here comes the selection, and it is Aiden Hutchinson. So it's a pretty cool moment for him. His family, they all stay local. That's pretty cool. Aiden Hutchinson becomes the new star defensive end for a team that needs stars. Lions obviously needing a lot of help. This year was not a very good year at all.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rebuilding, biting kneecaps was, about what they did because football wasn't very good to them. But yeah, listen, they do have some guys and some talent to work off of. Amon-Ra St. Brown was very good for them as a wide receiver. They get DJ Shark. They're going to have Jared Goff starter off, and they'll probably draft someone in this, maybe in the end of the first, early second, as a quarterback to kind of, give them some ability to groom somebody. Their offensive line is pretty solid. Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell, the first round talent from last year's draft. They have TJ Hawkinson, and DeAndre Swift's a very good running back.
Mm-hmm.
So their offense is taking shape a little bit, and they'll get better. But the defense, right? Michael Brockers. But after that, you need some big help, and he's someone in Aiden Hutchinson, 6'6", 260 pounds. He has the power to just overwhelm blockers, but also just agile feet and great hand technique to disengage and shed blocks. He's competitive. Jim Harbaugh said he was one of my absolute favorite guys that I've coached, and for all the right reasons. So, Harbaugh's seen a lot of talent, a lot of players come through, and that's a great thing. His teammates love him. He might not have the overall great intangibles and the stellar, body type that someone like Trayvon Walker has, but he's mature and he just knows how to play both the rush and the pass, and he's going to be a solid defensive end and a scheme-proof, NFL starter.
Yeah, I mean, like you were kind of saying, right? The some of his body size, right? According to like some scouts and things that I think both of us have read, he's got some shorter arms. He's a type of person that is not going to necessarily jump back into coverage, right? So maybe that's why the Jaguars looked towards Trayvon Walker, with that pick, just because of the potential chance, the potential that he has. Whereas Hutchinson might be a little bit more, and I'm not gonna say stuck in his ways because he's probably only 20, 21.
Yep.
But just has a little bit more upside in that sense. But I mean, yeah, like you said, you can't go wrong with having somebody like him. Somebody that's that was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, the guy's obviously a freak athlete. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
That's let's say that little metric. The last 5 defensive players selected number 2 overall: Ndamukong Suh, Von Miller, Nick Bosa, Chase Young, and now Aiden Hutchinson. That's a pretty good group to be included in. So let's see if he gets to that status. Sorry, Adrian, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. And like you said, I mean, if I'm him, right, somebody who was projected to be the number 1 overall pick since the end of end of his college career, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a little bit of a chip on the shoulder and wanting to prove obviously the Jaguars wrong, that they made the mistake and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know 1 and 2 isn't a big difference, but to somebody a professional athlete like that, right? It's a big thing for them. So,
yeah. Now pick is already in for the Texans, and I do think that this is where they go with a tackle, and they're probably walking up, looking at the best offensive tackle in the group, and pretty excited about that. And Nicky Ekwonu, they have a lot of needs. They do have Larry Matunzel at that left tackle spot, but Titus Howard's a okay right tackle, but building that line I think is a big thing, especially for a young quarterback like Davis Mills. They have Brandon Cooks, a wide receiver. I don't think a wide receiver is really going to go in the spot. There is another defensive end prospect, or a couple that are thought of pretty highly in Kayvon Thibodeau and Jermaine Johnson. Maybe they go Sauce Gardner. Maybe going after that cornerback, or I can't really see anyone else other than that. Maybe Charles Cross, but they need help all over.
Yeah, I mean, I think here, right, like you said, you got to go with the offensive lineman. I think Davis Mills I think Davis Mills also showed you a little bit, right, last year at the end of the year, kind of the way he played. So I mean, you got to build around somebody, right? So and I think it's a great pick for them, to go offensive lineman and get Iwanu. So we'll see right here, right?
Yep. So pick is in. Texans. Here comes Kamish. And they're going to go with
Oh,
Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback from LSU.
wow.
Wow. So first surprise pick. Wow, that is a surprise. So he was thought of being, the best cornerback for a while. And then his stock kind of fell a little bit, and I wasn't really too sure why. I always thought he was a top-rated
Wow.
corner, but right away you started hearing more about Sauce Gardner, and you heard more about Trent McDuffie. So Derek Stingley Jr. primarily outside, has some slot work. He's very good press corner. Scouts have questioned his toughness in press coverage and as a tackler, which is why I think he kind of fell a little bit. But he only allowed 41% completions during his 3 years at LSU. He played top competition. I mean, the kid is a very good corner overall. He missed a couple games from injury, so I'm sure they would like to see a little more of him on the field. But he's top tier athlete, great man coverage. Obviously tremendous ball instincts, a ball hawk as well, and he's probably going to be a Pro Bowl level NFL starter if he stays healthy. We did have him. Where did I have him mocked? I forgot where I had Derek Stingley mocked. So I had him at 12 to Minnesota Vikings, which they would have loved if he had fallen to 12. But yeah, I'm a little bit of a shock that high at 3. I could have definitely seen the back half of the top 10 picks, but yeah, Derek Stingley Jr., great player, 6', 190. Doing a little bit of scouting up on the board. Jets coming up next, but yeah, I mean, someone like Sauce Gardner's got to be upset because considering his stock was through the roof. They're talking about the first 4 picks for him.
I said this could kind of change maybe what the Jets do, right? Depending on what they do, right? How they
Yeah.
feel with some of their big guys up front, right? They could go Guanu.
Yeah. So the thought was that the Jets, they like their line the way it is right now, but you have someone like George Fant who is clearly, not a stopgap, but he's got 1 more year left on contract. He had a very good year last year, but he's not a top end guy. And someone on the other side, your right tackle, because he's found to most likely play left tackle, but someone on the right side, in Mekhi Becton, who hasn't stayed healthy and ballooned up and gotten fat, so you don't know what's happening with him. So maybe they take something that's deemed as a not a strength, but as an okay spot for your team and your offensive line, and maybe you get Ike Ekwonu and you bring him in and you immediately make him, someone that sits and could come in and play. But then for next year, your offensive line is set. If Becton does come back healthy, you could even maybe trade a George Fant. I could definitely see them doing that, especially if they don't like Thibodeau's work, what he wants to do with football, the whole thing about him building his own, brand and stuff, which I have no problem with. But, maybe they don't feel like that, or maybe they feel like Sauce Gardner, they just don't need a cornerback as well. I know that Saleh hasn't been overly, overly enthused with corners recently. He's more wanted to build through the defensive line. Yeah, I could see Ekwonu. I could see Thibodeau. I don't think I could see a wide receiver this early. Maybe an Evan Neal if they wanted to, either the 2 tackles. Yeah, anything else than that, I don't think I'd be very happy with this pick if it wasn't anyone than other, Ekwonu, Neal, or Thibodeau, which means they're going to definitely do something I'm not going to like. So I'm already my heart's already beating fast. I'm already unhappy that the Jets are going to come up and pick soon.
I mean,
it's amazing.
Well, the pick is in, and I will say though, I wouldn't mind if they did go Gardner, at cornerback, but I mean, I think you got to go with Ekwonu, right? With the guy that's supposed to be the touted number 1 tackle. Like you said, we have questions, right? With Becton, Fant too. Like you said, it's kind of the stopgap guy. Why not get somebody, right? That's highly rated, right? That could be, the next guy we have for the next 10 years. Somebody that's protecting Wilson, or if Wilson doesn't pan out, our next, potential quarterback. I wouldn't mind it. Now that it's open and it's potentially here, I wouldn't mind that pick.
Yeah, Marshall on Facebook Live saying Jets go NC State, Giants go Bama. Both teams would like that. And I did see, him talking about Debo. They're not away, Debo away from a Super Bowl, but I would absolutely trade the 10 pick for Debo Samuel right now. Yeah, Jets pick is in. I'm already anxious and nervous. I need to get to Vegas soon, man.
And I think
It'd be so much fun.
I do think too this pick is telling, right, how comfortable the Jets feel with Becton and Fant, right? If they do go tackle here, that they have those question marks around them. So,
well, if they take a tackle now, I would think that the question is, do they not believe in Mekhi Becton? And that would worry me a little bit. That either he's unhappy, or either he's coming out of shape, or he just hasn't really filled in, with the health. And Jets, shaking their hands. They're very happy with the guy they took.
it seems like they're more surprised when I look at some of those guys, right, in that boardroom. I feel like they look a little bit more
can't
surprised.
Believe he fell.
Yeah.
I mean, Icky, I wouldn't be unhappy with it. I really would not be unhappy with Icky Ekwonu. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think of anything else that could happen that would really make me. I mean, Jermaine Johnson, I think would be too much of a jump. If they took Kyle Hamilton, I might quit the podcast. Yeah, I don't know who else. Trevor Penning. I know they like Penning, but I can't see him at 4. I could see him at 10, but Jameson Williams, same thing.
I think you have to go with, regardless.
See, if Jameson Williams was healthy. Sorry, I would say if Jameson Williams was healthy, I could see him going at 4, and I would not have been unhappy about that. But the fact that he's obviously has an injury issue, that would be something that I'd be, rather unhappy about. But
yeah.
Is my screen is as laggy as yours?
No, you're fine. So the pick is in, Mr. Goodell.
Let me see.
Oh,
Sauce Gardner. Are you
all right? All right.
All right. So Sauce Gardner. God, man, I can't.
I think that tells you though. No, but I think that tells you, right, that they have faith and they know that Becton, will be healthy, or they're expecting him to be healthy. They want to get the shutdown corner, especially against guys, especially against the wide receivers, right? They're going to be playing against, in Diggs and in Tyreek Hill. I can't be mad at that pick. Looking for defensive first, right? Picking a guy like that. I know. Obviously, Ekwonu was there, but I'm not going to be mad with that pick.
I didn't think that for this team, for this defense, that cornerback was what they thought would be the major get here. He's long body, 6'3". He's athletic as all hell. Does a great job staying on top of routes, forcing quarterbacks to look basically anywhere else. I think he only saw 11% of defensive targets in 2021, which is crazy. He's decent on the line, in terms of press. He plays fearless, though. He's disruptive. 0 touchdown passes allowed in 1,100 career coverage snaps in the college is
insane.
Absolutely nuts. He needs to obviously develop his strength. He's a twig, 190 at 6'3", but he's a bump and run corner, great instincts. Staying in his position. He's smooth against receivers. Cincinnati hasn't produced an NFL first round pick since 1971, but obviously Gardner changes that. I don't know.
Steve on little Steve on Facebook says another missed opportunity for a shirtless fist pump.
Yeah, definitely a shirtless fist pump missed opportunity. I really thought that they would be able to do, I don't know, something else.
They with Did you think or expect to go Thibodeau then?
Well, I had Thibodeau as my selection to the Jets. I would have liked
Mhm.
Icky. I would have thought that would have put the Jets in primetime position for a few years to really protect the quarterback. I also thought that they needed to I thought that the needs, and I know they need a cornerback. I know that they got DJ Reed. They like him. They have a couple other guys that are doing okay for them. But it wasn't a tremendous need position where you have other positions like defensive end that are tremendous need, wide receiver tremendous need, offensive tackle not so much tremendous need, but something that they could have built on to make it so that next year they don't have to have spend valuable picks for something like that. So
Uh, I
yeah,
just I look at the teams now that they're playing against, right, with just that added weapon of playing Tyreek Hill 2 times a year. I think you need somebody that could potentially be that shutdown
see,
corner.
I don't think he's the type of guy that can cover Tyreek Hill. I think he's more of a big body receiver. Um,
I'm just saying,
I mean, like,
just having somebody that could shut down,
yeah,
guys that you're playing against potentially twice a year. Stephon Diggs, right, something like that. You know, uh, you look at Trayvon Diggs, right, and Dallas and the way that he's played. I think that's a. I'm not mad at that pick, right? I can't be.
yeah. First four picks is defensive. The second time defensive player selected with each of the first four picks in draft history since 1991. Um, yeah, I don't know.
So now, if you're the Giants, right? Do you
I
pick?
mean, you. I think you. I, I mean, I guess they could. They could definitely not take a tackle and go with something else that they think might be something that Carolina Panthers would take, and then know that you're
Hmm.
coming back to either get Neal or Aquanu, which I think would be a very good smart play for them. Um, Especially if they think that someone could either trade into Carolina's spot, Carolina would take them. Maybe they like a Thibodeau, a Thibodeau or a Jermaine Johnson or a wide receiver or someone like Kyle Hamilton. Guys that are top end
Yeah.
talent. Pickers in for the Giants. Who go the sauce? Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's going to be a fun. I mean, for the Giants, right? It's everything that I'm getting texts for obviously the Jets, but it's man, I don't know. See, this is what happens as a Jet fan, right? Exactly what happens if you don't like that. You're just depressed about a pick, and the kid hasn't even started his stupid career yet. Um, all right, here comes the Giants. Pick is in. I really do think that they go. I wonder who this kid is. I really do think that they go. If they think that Ike Ekwonu is that much hands down better than Evan Neal, they go with him. If not, I could see them going with an off the board pick, something that can help them, jump the Panthers for some, for a a typical prospect they really like. This kid's amped up.
Yeah, he's a lifelong Giants fan and a Make a Wish,
Oh, good,
I guess winner. Can't see what
good for him.
it's for, um, but yeah, it's awesome, thing for him to be there and have the honor of selecting. Hopefully, what will be a future Hall of Famer for the Giants.
Yeah. All right, so this kid, go New York Giants. This kid, good for him.
Looking to be a
And let's
sportscaster.
hear.
Broadcaster. Cool.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I got the subtitles on, so I can kind of see what happens every once in a while. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Wow,
Wow.
I mean, good, smart. The guy was supposed to be the number one pick in this draft. He has tremendous talent. He's someone that I've liked, and I thought that the Jets would go after him at that 4 pick. physical, versus the run. He has great urgency and cornering skills to skirt blockers. He has a powerful jab step, which is extremely good in today's NFL. But it helps open up his options, which he's still learning. He's still putting together his pass rush moves. He's a lot of people are worried about his overall love of football, which is something that in a football player, you really want them to love football, obviously. But like I said before, if you can get someone to their next contract, that's a win in the NFL. He draws comparisons to Jadeveon Clowney, which means the talent is absolutely there to be a high-end starter and a Pro Bowler as long as he's committed. And if you can get Kayvon Thibodeau committed, he's going to be an absolute phenom. I wanted it, last year at the draft, I had wished that the Jets, that he was available in the draft because he would have probably gotten number 2 overall to the Jets. And I was looking forward. I really was looking forward to him being a Jet fan. Yeah, I would have thought that if he came out last year, he would have been the number 2 overall pick. I definitely think that.
You think so? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I do. He's just got the talent, and he's going to be someone that'll grow into a very good defensive end in the NFL. And the Giants are going to be looking pretty good taking this kid.
It's looking flashy.
He does have brand. He's got the stupid thing with the. Yeah, he didn't want to give him a hug though.
Kind of reminds me though of a wide receiver that falls short, just with the. I mean, I get being excited, right, and stuff like that, but he's kind of reminded me of OBJ a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, the talent's there. He's going to be a good player as long as he, is focused, which I think he will be, because guys like that want to make it that second contract, want to get paid.
Yeah,
and that means you're going to be, and that's someone that's going to have a good career. So Kayvon Thibodeau, good for him, and excited. Giants fans should be excited too. I really do think he's going to be, a good player for them. So. And here's where it's going to get interesting. Like I said, I don't think a quarterback's going here for Carolina at 6. But right now they have the pick of the top 2 tackles in the drafts, and the Carolina Panthers are going to get, a top end player with this pick. Just looking at, looking at who's there, and their depth chart. Carolina absolutely needs, help in the trenches. I do think a tackle is probably the biggest thing that they do need. Obviously other than a quarterback, but you have DJ Moore, you have your wide receiver, Terrence Marshall Jr., who they took in the second round last year. Cam Irving at left tackle is okay. They have Elfine, former Jet, Bradley Bozeman, and you could put Ike Ekwonu as a guard position to start off his career and then eventually move him over. Ian Thomas, is a good swing tackle. They have Darnold, obviously former Jet, at their quarterback in the time being, along with PJ Walker. Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Brian Burns at the end is a good player. I think they could absolutely get someone to kind of up that game. We also have Gross Matos, the second round pick from last year. I think, outside of maybe taking a defensive end again, I think you got to be going over there thinking that you're going to take a tackle and you're going to be taking one of the better players, in the draft. So I would take Icky, and that leaves to the Giants another top end, tackle prospect.
Two.
I really do like. Yeah, I mean, I do like what the Giants are doing on this. I really do think that they're. I'm jealous. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a smart decision, right? To go with, just get the defensive end, right, that you think is the best there, right? With a guy that was, like you said, projected for, first round pick, or first overall pick, and then just let Carolina, I'm assuming they think that they're going to go tackle, right? Let them pick whatever tackle they want, and then just take the other guy, whatever guy they want to grab there. So um, yeah, I mean it's nice having pretty much back to back picks, right? If you're a team, especially in the top 10. Um, we'll see what the Panthers do here, though.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the stuff on Icky. Obviously a very good 2021 regular season. He reinforced his ratings with a strong combine showing. He's the smaller of the three big tackles between, obviously Evan Neal is a massive human being at 6'8", 337. Icky's 6'4", 310, and then you have someone like Charles Cross at 6'5", 303, 37. Icky's most likely the going to play tackle in the NFL, but he can project as a guard as well. He has the best grades at all the tackles this year in this draft. He's nasty. He's a road grader. His run blocking is his big trait, but he's also a very good, effective pass blocker, which he's going to work on. He's just quick out of his stance, fires to that second level. I saw him destroy a linebacker in a game against, I think it was NC State. In UNC. And, he's just, it's someone that, falling to 6 is, to me, I think, a big drop for probably the second overall prospect. But, I think that he could definitely, who is this, Malik Willis? I know they're showing the quarterback. I just can't see them taking him here.
No, what's his name was just on there saying that he thinks that they're going to fall to 17 or 18, whoever the first was that McShay or that was what's the name? But yeah, just saying that they'll probably fall to that round or whatever, or to those picks around 17, 18. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're the Panthers, right? Yeah, obviously Darnold isn't your quarterback of the future, right? So I think you take a tackle, right? You take somebody that you think next year, right, could protect your quarterback of the future. Because there's a lot of good guys coming out next year. That are well more, draft prospects that you would want. So I think if you're them, you obviously there's no tanking, right? But you take your licks and hope you're drafting a good quarterback next year.
Listen, if you think that this guy is one that's going to play on your team for you quarterback any spot, right? Because that's the most important position. If you have any sort of negative feelings about him, Eke Iguano goes to the Panthers. There he is. If you had any sort of negative feelings about the quarterbacks, you take the best prospect available, which is Ike Iguano. Mauling blocker, whether gap or zone. He's explosive. Controlled violence is a term that I saw a scout use, which is pretty. I like that, controlled violence.
Controlled violence, that's good.
Controlled violence. He pancakes everybody. He obviously can get over aggressive, but he showed improvement as a junior. And I think he does stay outside of tackle. He's got to improve his blocking a little bit for pass, but he's nimble, powerful, and he'll only get better. So, I can see him becoming an elite tackle. I mean, if he stayed at guard, he'd be probably one of the best in the NFL. But yeah, I think this is a Pro Bowl type guard, type tackle.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I think that's also another good thing too, right? Is the upside of him playing at guard, right? A little bit of versatility, right, at that position. It's a heck of a pick right there for the Panthers, and definitely something that I'm sure Sam Darnold's happy about. Who is the day one starter according to his
Matt Rule
offensive.
Oh no, it's GM.
No,
right?
No.
It was McAdoo.
Yeah.
McAdoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this player. I think Carolina gets a steal. And now the Giants. I mean, you can get two massive human beings with your top two picks at 5 and 7. Um, Evan Neal would be a great option for them to play
Yeah.
across from Andrew Thomas from last year's or 2 years draft. And build that line. Give Daniel Jones one last hurrah to try to see if he can really do something. And if not, then next year when you go to the draft, you get your quarterback, and you have the makings of a very good offensive line. Andrew Thomas eventually will. I think he'll round into form. I did like him. In the draft a few years ago. But you got the wide receivers. You got Kadarius Toney, although there's talks about maybe him getting traded, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But Andrew Thomas, you got Max Garcia. You have a couple other guys, Shane Lemieux, that can play along the line, and at the right tackle spot. If you can upgrade that for someone like a Evan Neal, I think the Giants would be very good and smart to do that.
I would be
I
surprised though
can't.
too, right? There's a lot of some of these other NFL experts, right, that are saying that potentially Charles Cross could be there too. That he's a guy that
Yeah.
they've heard that the Giants like a
Yep.
lot. Like his pass protection and stuff like that. His pro
So
comparison is apparently Brian Balaga, which
yeah,
I'd be
very good player.
ecstatic about having.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised if he's a potential name here too for the Giants, whose pick is already in.
Yeah, so Evan Neal, right, has the size that you would love in a left tackle, right tackle, kind of prospect.
Uh,
He does bend very well for a big guy. And he continues to work on his feet, and he was a very good player at Bama. Charles Cross is more, he's very quick, great body control. Run blocking is work in progress, but his pass blocking is very, very good. 78 I think it was 80% of his college snaps were pass blocking plays. He lacks the bulk and the power, especially in the run game, but he's going to be a both him and Evan Neal are Pro Bowl talents. So,
yeah,
and you can say that about the first couple tackles because I think these guys really are that good. But yeah, I mean, you're going to get two massive human beings between defensive end with Thibodeau going there, playing alongside Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. I mean, that is a big line. You think about it.
yeah.
So Leonard Williams is, I want to say he's about 6'4". Yeah, Leonard Williams is he's 6'5", 302. Dexter Lawrence, the former Clemson defensive tackle, won the national championship. He is, give me a second. Dexter Lawrence is 6'4", 342, and then Thibodeau is 6'4", 264. Those are three. That's a nice defensive line
Some big
right
boys.
there. Yeah. You got other guys like
All
Raymond
right, pick
Johnson
is
on the
in,
line.
and it is Evan Neal.
Never Neal. I mean, I saw. I kind of figured that they would go either him or Cross. I thought that Evan Neal was the better prospect.
Yeah,
He's a big human being. I think they had a picture of him. He had like an 8-pack. And I was like, how does an offensive tackle have an 8-pack?
As a big man like that.
Yeah. It's just not fair. The guy should be
guy,
big and fat and love donuts.
yeah, guy that's 6'7", 337, right? Having an 8-pack. That does not look like an offensive tackle.
No, he looks like he could be a tight end.
Yeah, as insane to me.
I mean, he just mauls people. Jesus. Yeah, Giants did a good job. I really do like what they did. I think they honestly felt like they would get one of the two tackles or one of the 2 or 3 tackles that they liked no matter what. So why not take the pick that they could get screwed out of? Yeah. I mean, actually, it would have been interesting if they had allowed Carolina to take if they had taken Ike Kwanu as a guard and then taken Neal if they took the defensive end, take Neal at the next pick and just really destroy your offensive line. That could have been interesting. But Evan Neal, good for him. Giants with a very good draft. I like what they did. I mean, so here we go, right? So pick 7. We have now a couple more picks before the Jets come around to number 10. We got Atlanta at 8, 9, Seattle.
So I think this is another interesting spot right here, right?
Yeah, 8,
Does
yeah.
Atlanta go wide receiver? Do they?
I think they do.
They're
Yeah.
their number one right overall, or their number one wide receiver right now is Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not somebody that
I thought they had. I thought that they got. Man, I'm trying to blank on who they got. I know they have Auden Tate. They had. Maybe that is their number one. Yeah, that's not great. That's a slot guy. They have left tackle. They have Jake Matthews. Their right tackle McGarry is pretty decent. Matt Hennessy at center. Obviously, they're the tight end and Kyle Pitts. Mariota's going to be their guy for right now. I don't think they take quarterback till later. Cordell Patterson, the running back. Mike Davis. Yeah, I could see a wide receiver. I could also see, a defensive end if they really wanted to. So I'm going to go along with Grady Jarrett. They have Lawrence Ricardo, the former Giant, linebacker. They have Deion Jones, very good run-stopping linebacker still. AJ Terrell, cornerback. Casey Hayward, same thing, cornerback. Yeah, I think it's either a wide receiver or it's an end. And I think that, you could see someone like Jermaine Johnson, or you could see either Garrett Wilson or the big guy, Drake London.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be smart for the Falcons to go wide receiver here. Just obviously with the question marks of Calvin Ridley and unfortunately the things that he's gone through. Obviously, he's out. He's out the entirety of this year coming up, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? For all 16.
I mean, if they wanted to, they could really just tank offense, just go defense, and just the number one pick next.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a terrible idea, but I think in my GM brain, right? I think I would try to build weapons for my future quarterback now. You look eventually, like you said, kind of tank a little bit here, and then God, that still amazes me that they got what they gave up for Matt Ryan. They only got a 3rd round pick for him.
Yeah.
Which I guess, I mean, it's understandable, but yeah, I mean, I think that they know that they're not going to have the greatest of years right now, right? So why not?
Well, here's a question for you: Would you have rather had Matt Ryan or Matthew Stafford if this was the same trading year?
Stafford.
Matt Ryan.
A little bit younger.
Yeah, the age definitely, but I think the last 5 years, Ryan has the most passing yards in all the NFL. So, he got the gun still.
Yeah,
maybe.
Look. All right. So this year, obviously, right, he didn't necessarily have the weapons as much. I mean, obviously, he had the big tight end, right, and he had Ridley for a few games. But in years past, he had Julio Jones, right? So, I mean, it's not really. I think that's a little skewed right there.
Yeah, but Stafford's had Calvin Johnson, and then he goes to, he goes to the Rams and has Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and Odell Beckham Jr. So it's not like Stafford's played with
Drake,
nobody.
London.
Wow, yeah. Falcons going 2 monster. Gosh, see, this is the stupid Jets. Starting to lose me here. Yeah, so Drake London, big boy. Watch the Jets not get a wide receiver. Oh my Jesus. All right, so Drake London, USC star, 6'4", 219. The old respect receiver, right, is when. Sorry, did I lose you?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. God.
The ultimate respect for a wide receiver, right, is when everybody knows the ball going to you, yet the defense just can't stop it. And that was his entire year last year. He had 15 targets per game. I think David Bell was the only one with more from Purdue. It was his first as a football only athlete in his life. He's a two sport star, basketball and football. He does great on high pointing skills for reaching the reaching the ball and making sure he's got it. He the perfect example. They just showed him. He reminds me of Mike Evans, and I
Uh-huh.
think that that's absolutely a player you want. You can see the catch radius. Man, this kid's gonna be good. Him and Kyle Pitts on the same team is crazy.
Yeah.
Jump balls. But he needs to development and route running. But he provides the big playability because of the size and his athleticism. And he just when the ball's in the air, he has awesome instincts. And I just think that he's going to be a very good wide receiver. Like I said, he reminds me of Mike Evans. I think he's going to be the same type of player. And whoever is going to eventually throw the ball to him after Mariota, they're very lucky to have him and Kyle Pitts. So yeah, next up, Seattle Seahawks. No quarterback. Currently, they have the ever wonderful Drew Lock, but the team has offense. DK, you got Tyler Lockett. You have Noah Fant, who they got in the Russell Wilson trade. Chris Carson's still running back. Probably needs to get a little healthier. They have Rashad Penny to back him up too, but they do need a tackle. I could see them going someone. Bless you. I could see them going
Thank you.
for someone like Charles Cross or Penning, but also on the defensive side, right? So they have Jamal Adams, but could you imagine putting someone like Kyle Hamilton with Jamal Adams in that secondary? As a
Wouldn't be
safety,
bad.
strong safety, free safety kind of play. There are some cornerbacks here that are still in play as well. I have Daxton Hill from Michigan. You got the kid from now I'm blanking on names a little bit. Trent McDuffie from Washington.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's a defensive end. Maybe it's Jermaine Johnson. Still 5 minutes left on the clock. There's plenty of options for a team that really needs a bunch of everything at the other than offensive wide receiver. A little bit of everything they could do. I think that my brain just thinks tackle at the moment, but and I think
I'll say,
that's might be Charles Cross.
could you see a possibility of them trading this pick?
I just don't know who's jumping up for
Do you
what.
think
I mean, are you jumping up to get Garrett Wilson ahead of the Jets? Are you jumping up,
yeah,
ahead of the Jets to get a defensive end? I don't know what you're jumping for. I can't see it. I still can't see a quarterback. I can see and especially in front of a team that needs a quarterback, I can't see that happening. But
yeah.
I would think that if you're trading up here, you're going to grab, a wide receiver.
I say
And other
that's
than
why.
that,
Like,
quarterback.
do you think a team like the Saints or a team almost even like the Eagles? Do you think they potentially see that the Jets might go wide receiver, right? Because that's their other one of their other big needs. Do you think that they potentially do that, right? And Seahawks,
It's
recoup
interesting.
some picks.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I could see that happening. Yeah, I could see them. So someone jumping up for a wide receiver. Yeah, Seahawks getting some more, especially. I know Seattle doesn't have a first because the Jets had it. Actually, from the 10 pick is the Jets is the former Seattle pick.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe Seattle does drop down and gets a little extra. I can't see someone like I can't see a team like the Saints trading 2 firsts to jump up to number 9, which is probably maybe what it takes, or at least a first and a second,
yeah.
or maybe a first and a future first. But um, haven't seen anything crazier than that. So uh,
Yeah.
I think Seattle stays here. I'm not too sure. I mean, they are taking a lot of time, so maybe they are working on a trade. But um, I don't
Yeah.
know. Who do you
Well,
pick is in? So Seahawks.
no, I mean,
Um,
I think if
who do you
anything,
think they
right, they
take?
go. Uh, I mean, like you said, they're not going to go cornerback, right? There still is a pretty good guard in Charles Cross that they could go.
Guard tackle. Yep.
There's still obviously um, a lot of good, still good defensive ends that they can go.
Yeah.
It's I think it's a crapshoot, right?
I mean, Devin Lloyd
Granted,
is considered one of the better prospects in the NFL. He's a linebacker. They just got rid of their all-pro linebacker and Bobby Swags. Maybe they go back and dip back in and get the next Bobby Wagner. Kyle Hamilton, like I said, he is there. He's super size safety. But, like I said, he doesn't just play in the box where you think his size would make a difference. He plays everywhere.
yeah.
Some people said he's a mashup between Isaiah Simmons and Justin Simmons. That's awesome. And it's diverse.
Yeah.
That's a huge weapon. And if the Jets take Kyle Hamilton at 10, that secondary is ridiculous now, but I still don't like it.
You'd rather have the weapon, obviously.
Yeah. No, because the Jets fumbled. The problem is the Jets fumbled the offseason and didn't get a wide receiver when they clearly, right now you have, you got Elijah Moore, who I like. You got Corey Davis, who's a decent 2. But after that, your slot guy right now is a career year Braxton Berrios.
Yeah, but
it's not no doubt.
He played well though.
Yeah, but so it's a career year though. One guy, and he was more of his kick and run returning. He had 400 yards. The Jets don't have a wide receiver on their roster that has hit 1,000 yards in his career yet. That's not good.
I don't disagree.
And the Jets continually fumble positions that they shouldn't. Like defensive end, once again. I mean, if they take a defensive end here, I'm going to be upset because clearly we needed the. But they've always needed a defensive end.
That would make sense to me. If they did that, right?
Yeah.
If they went defensive end now instead of picking it at 4, I don't think that would make sense to me. Why not just go Thibodeau and get the best guy?
Yeah,
but
they botch defensive end every year. They never have a stud wide receiver. Last stud wide receiver we had was Keyshawn Johnson. I guess Brandon Marshall. He was good. He was really good for them. But I mean, I want a true beast. Yep, Charles Cross. All right, called that one. Yeah, I mean, going after the tackles. So very good left tackle. Charles Cross is a beast. Like I was saying before, very quick feet. Very good at pass blocking. Needs a little help in the run game, but he's going to get better at that. But he's got Pro Bowl level talent, thanks to that pass blocking. Yeah, I mean, Drew Lock's not going to have to run around for his life. Hopefully because he keeps him off him a little bit. Either Drew Lock or that is bad. Depending on what the Jets do, this might be my last pick. I don't even know anymore. It's depressing how unhappy of a Jet fan I am. Joking around, obviously, but let's see here. Anybody on Facebook Live? No, just Marshall Dean. Just Braxton Berrios, Elijah Moore. I like Corey Davis. Just I mean, I like. Yeah, I really just. AJ, you still there? Did I lose my? Oh, I might have lost AJ. Let's see here. So we are currently looking at who's going to be up and who can be here for this pick. Alrighty, Age. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we are back. Sorry, a little technical difficulties. AJ's computer's passed, so he's going to get back on and come in. But while I am waiting, so currently Jets on the clock, 4:45 left in the pick. Seattle just took Charles Cross. Very good player. But yeah, so I was just going on the Jets. Currently, I like their guard play with Laken Tomlinson, Elijah Vera Tucker, first round pick from last year. I'm not really in love with Connor McGovern. That's why I'm extremely happy that maybe Tyler Linderbaum could be someone that could fall to them. Here's AJ. AJ, sorry, lost you, but I was going over the Jets roster and really, what I'm looking at this pick. I think they need to give Zach Wilson help. I really do like Garrett Wilson. I think he's the better wide receiver prospect. His route running is ridiculous. And I would be very happy with him at 10. It's just that the 4 pick still just messes with me, and that you had the needs, and I didn't think that was necessarily the best way to go about it. Maybe they trade back into the first round for a late defensive end prospect, but yeah, I just looking at it, Carl Lawson, and he just needs some help. You have John Franklin Myers who could play that defensive end spot, although he said he wants to play. He'd rather play tackle. You got Bryce Huff, who they signed from. You got Bryce Huff, who was a draft pick. You have Martin, who was the undrafted, or who's the Houston. You have Vinny Curry, so you have some guys that can kind of play in that mark. CJ Mosley is a very good middle linebacker, albeit overpaid. I don't see them going linebacker right here. Maybe it's the safety. Maybe they're picking someone to go in the Ashton Davis spot. But yeah, I don't know.
I think get Wilson some weapons, right? You already got something on a piece on defense. Get him somebody that he can throw the ball to. I think our line is decent, right? Obviously, you still have the question marks with Becton, but I think you got to get him a weapon somewhere, and then
Zach Wilson to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad duo, But I think then within the second round with some of
here we go. All right, who is
Garrett Wilson.
All right. I like it. I mean, still wasn't happy about the blunder in the fourth overall pick, but yeah, listen, Garrett Wilson, an awesome route runner. One of the best college football players this past year. The route running ability really is the big trait, but he's deceptively fast. A Division I basketball recruit actually out of high school, he credits that for his athleticism and fluidity. He has long arms. Yeah, no, he's got some hops, but he's got huge, really long arms. Very good contested. Lynn Swan. I mean, the guy, he played in the 70s. How can you compare someone like that to? Amazing. Uncanny adjustments in the air. Very good catch radius, although not as big at 6 foot 183 as Drake London at 6'5". But he, is going to continue his route refinement, and he makes the playbook come alive with just the ability to get open. I saw a couple people say they reminded of CeeDee Lamb, which I like a lot. So, yeah, I mean, I like Garrett Wilson. I think he's going to be a very good wide receiver to put with Elijah Moore and with Corey Davis. Yeah, I'm happy about this one. I really do think that he's going to be a good player.
Yeah, the thing I like too is that he's a slot weapon, right? That you can use, and he can also play on the outside. So, I like the versatility, and like you said, he's deceptively fast. I mean, I'm not mad about the Jets. 2 picks. I like I said, I don't mind having that shutdown corner, especially against the wide receivers that we'll be playing against, and you getting somebody like Wilson, right? That can the Washington Commanders trade pick.
All right,
Commanders trade pick to the Saints.
Wow, so the Saints really getting a quarterback? I mean, who are they jumping though? Because the Saints are actually ahead of Pittsburgh, who would be in line for a quarterback at 20.
No, not unless they're
They're not.
looking to potentially get a wide receiver here.
Yeah, you think Jameson Williams? Oof, that'd be
Yeah,
pretty
him
crazy. Him
or
and
potentially
him and
Olave.
Michael Thomas.
I'd like to see what Washington got on
Sauce
that.
Gardner. Yeah. Well, so we'll get into the trade in a little bit once they see it. So yeah, maybe we'll hold out for the trade and we'll, do a couple more. We're not going to do this whole draft because it's taking forever already. All right. So let's do this because we're waiting for who the Saints take.
Yeah.
Obviously my board is falling apart as well as most others. The way this is kind of gone, but looking at teams and their needs, I know we kind of did this before, but Saints maybe a wide receiver, maybe a stud defensive player. I mean, they did just lose their All-Pro safety, so maybe Kyle Hamilton. Maybe they go for a quarterback, just shock the world. So that could be something interesting. Philly just going after pretty much big bodies and talent. Someone like Jordan Davis, I said that they could take, or a wide receiver if they want to. Pittsburgh, I think that's where you start to see the quarterbacks come around. Maybe it's in Pittsburgh with an Kenny Pickett, or even a Malik Willis. Someone like Arizona going after defense. We said Karlaftis. Do they go after another weapon for Kyler Murray? I do think that if some of these wide receivers last, Green Bay or Kansas City are going to jump, and they definitely need guys. I had the Packers taking Chris Olave from Ohio State at 22. They could jump further if there's a run on wide receivers. Detroit, Jahan Dotson and wide receiver Penn State. Maybe Dotson even goes sooner. But yeah, there's probably about 5 wide receivers, maybe 6 that are top guys. And for these wide receiver needy teams, I can see KC or Green Bay jumping. Then you get the guys that are looking for line help with the Cowboys, the Bills. Same thing with the Chargers with Trevor Penning still being available. And maybe even New Orleans is jumping for Trevor Penning, the tackle from Northern Iowa. Devin Lloyd is a talent that's going to go somewhere in the teens. Trent McDuffie, same thing, cornerback from Washington. Kyle Hamilton's got to be here soon. Just looking at other talents real fast.
I think
Jones.
Hamilton will go next to the Vikings.
I mean, I could see them definitely doing that. Yeah. Either that or I could see Trent McDuffie going to the Vikings. They always need corners, especially playing in the North. But I mean, just for the Jets, coming around at 35, 38, if they don't trade up or trade back, maybe a team looks to get one of those 2 picks and trades a future pick. But I'd really like to see someone like Tyler Linderbaum, especially because they didn't go tackle or guard in the first round. And then I do like Breece Hall, but now you need to end, and that's where the needs were there and they just didn't take them. So
I wouldn't mind though if somebody from Purdue fell all the way to the second round for them to pick.
You think he's gone now? I mean, the guy that was
maybe, I don't know.
There was talks about him going in the.
Yeah, I know he's somebody that is similar, right? With that, he's got to kind of refine, his play. But I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a terrible pick if if they can grab him, in the second round.
Yeah, I agree. I would love Karlaftis or even Derek Bell. I mean, you could double dip on wide receiver if you really wanted to.
David Bell.
Sorry, David Bell. Damn it, I'm gonna keep doing stupid stuff like that.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Get a little Facebook picture, a little beer, a little Jets cup, a little NFL Draft Primetime Radio, courtesy of Mr. Sam Wu, who is right now he's doing a Devils report, I think.
Sounds
He was
terrible.
doing Game Day Live before. The man's on a mission. He is one of the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. So thank you, Sam, for setting all this up.
Nobody like him with his intros. Just there's nothing like it.
Yep. This is football prime time. Now, I don't do it as well as he does. All right, Saints pick is in. Who dat?
So who do you think? Who do you think it is here?
Who's this going to be? I'm going to go Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Bama.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you too.
It would not shock me if it's Kyle Hamilton, though.
It's got to be a wide receiver here, right? It can't be.
If it's
anything else,
that would be crazy.
Wait, why is there?
Look at these.
Yeah, I'm confused for a second.
Because that's
Austin Eckler, and
well, that's Eckler. That's the tight end from wow. There's a lot of who's the guy?
Oh, because it's Amazon. They're
they're repping Amazon.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's Boltman. Why is Boltman up there?
Tony Gonzalez. It's weird that.
Yeah, I wonder who. Is he just talking about Amazon? Or is he actually giving the pick?
No, I assume he's doing the pick, right? But just strange that right they have somebody from
KC
Chargers, and the Chargers up here, right? Making a pick for the Saints. You think that they would just hold this up for, but I guess it's also it's a sponsorship viewers thing where they're like, oh, we got to get this.
We need to get early.
Most people.
Before the New York fans leave.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler, very good running back. For some, I thought I put on closed captioning, but apparently I didn't. What was that?
So they play week 2 on Amazon Prime, Thursday night game, Chargers versus KC. It's gonna be a heck of a game.
Oh, so that's why they have the super fans on there too. All right, that makes sense. All right, Chargers KC.
All right, well, let's get this pick in. Come on.
I'm going to see Jameson Williams. That's a very good tandem between him and Michael Thomas. Nolan Saints pick is in. Kamish is at the podium, and he is going to select
with the 11th pick, Chris Olave. All right.
Really? All right. So they go wide receiver. They go Olave. All right. So Chris Olave, another Ohio State guy. Is that back-to-back? Yeah, back-to-back Ohio State wide receivers. So Olave, smooth route runner. He was actually thought of to be at first, or in the beginning, to be the best wide receiver prospect. Obviously very good speed. He's a deep threat. Creates space very well. Isn't a tackle breaker, but is obviously pretty elusive. He's not overly strong, but he doesn't need to be when you can move past people. So, dependable catcher, projects as a solid wide receiver too, and just has the talent there to be a one if he can continue to play up his skills, and that does leave someone like Jameson Williams out there, 6'2", 179, thought of as the best wide receiver in the draft. You have some other guys at wide receiver still. Treylon Burks from Arkansas, another big guy, plays the ball pretty well. Debo Samuel-esque. What?
Was Detroit wasn't at 12, right?
Oh, Lions trade up. They just pick?
Yeah.
Who's that?
No, that's a lot right there.
Oh,
They traded up.
yeah. So 12 was the Minnesota Vikings. So Detroit is all the way from 30, most likely. Actually, for uh, the trade the Saints picks. Now we're going to stay on a little bit longer. This is interesting where they
So
what we're looking at here.
do they
Um,
go Jameson Williams? Okay, they go wide receiver, you think here?
they could. Maybe a quarterback at this spot, or did
No,
did
I don't.
did player long enough?
I think.
Um,
I mean, you,
I
you
mean,
think
Kyle
they're
Hamilton's there. He was. It's the best fit is probably Jameson Williams. They did. I didn't see what happened with the trade. I'm
I
still
mean,
looking. Give me a sec.
you can tell that's a player, right? That hasn't heard a call. Um, so obviously it's not Pickett here. At least I don't think.
No,
Although I don't see
who's that supposed to be?
that's the other quarterback,
Willis.
Malik Willis. But I don't see him. I thought he was in the red chair, but maybe he's on the other side. I
Uh,
don't. I don't.
first trade. Okay, the picks going to Washington are 16, 98, and 120. Uh, for the 11 pick. So 16, 98, and 120 for the 11. And then the Vikings.
I don't. I don't. That's not. I don't think that's a lot of value.
Vikings and Lions. Vikings and Lions making a trade too. Two in
Yeah, that's
division
surprising.
rivals. The Vikings trade pick 12 and 46. The Lions trade picks 32, 34, and 66. So they get their 2 seconds, or so they get their first, the last pick in the first round, and the second pick in the second round, as well as 66 for 12 and 46.
It's not
Huh.
terrible. I don't like
No,
Washington's move per se. I don't think they
why
got
not?
as
I
much
I mean, it's
value.
going to give them more talent. They got 3
I
picks.
guess. Yeah.
Um, yeah, they got. What did I say they got?
You said 16, 98, and one something.
Yep, that's right. So they
So
got a
what a
third rounder and
yeah. Yeah, I guess. Here it is. Yeah, 12th overall pick, 2022 second round pick, 32nd, 34th, 2022 third round.
yeah. So good haul for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't really see anything you really liked here.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the Lions do because typically
I
you jump up like this for a quarterback,
I
but
don't
I
think
don't
so.
see that happening. And do you
I
really
think they go wide
you really
receiver
drop 2 seconds for
or
Jameson Williams?
or they go safety. Kyle Hamilton, maybe.
Wow,
Jameson
Jameson Williams,
Williams.
wide receiver, Bama
Wow.
goes to Detroit. Yeah, it's a pretty big move. I mean, everyone likes him. He's extremely talented. I could see him doing very well. Um, in Detroit, they get the star that they need, a wide receiver, probably the best prospect they've had since Calvin Johnson. Yeah, it's a big move though. That's a good capital to give
Yeah.
up for someone like that. And let's see here. So what happens to the quarterbacks? What's going to go on from there? And then also looking at some of the talent that has dropped. So right now, just to kind of give a wrap on who's still available, the top players. You got Kyle Hamilton. you're looking at guys like Jermaine Johnson, Malik Willis, Trent McDuffie, uh, Kenny Pickett, Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from Utah, Jordan Davis, the tackle from Georgia, the Mountain of Man, Trevor Penning, another tackle prospect, and then you have Dax Hill, Karloftis, Traylon Burks. So a lot of talent still left, and we are at pick 13. Eagles are in. Maybe we'll watch the Eagles, and then we'll bid adieu for those Philly fans.
Well, how about this real quick? While we wait for the pick, right? We'll do some trivia.
3 straight wide receivers. Yep, let's hear the trivia.
All right, so this is kind of a which team started the NFL draft?
When you like the first ever NFL draft, or
first ever NFL draft, which team started it?
Like a team.
They proposed that the NFL do a draft. Which team?
Well, I can't imagine it was like the Packers, because they used to like steal people, or Dallas. Is the team still in the league?
Yes, team is still in the league. They are in the NFC. So, because obviously the NFL at the time was just the NFC. So,
I'm gonna say I'm only looking at the list of teams. I'm not cheating here, but I don't think it's anyone in the West. South? No. Yeah, so I'm going to say it's somewhere in the North. I don't think it'd be the East. Maybe the Giants? All right, I'm going to go the New York Football Giants.
It is not the New York Football Giants. You are in the right division, though.
Is it the Cowboys?
It's not the Cowboys. It is
Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles. So, as the NFL expanded in 1930s, the then owner, co-owner, Bert Bell, raised a significant problem with other owners. His team didn't have the money to compete for the better players. So he proposed a draft system that would help, level the playing field. So the first NFL draft was born on February 8th, 1936 at the Ritz-Carlton. Fun little fact here, which is, I think, hilarious, is the first ever drafted player didn't even play in the NFL. So the Eagles, with the first overall pick, drafted Jay Berwanger from the University of Chicago. He didn't sign with the Eagles due to salary demands. So they traded his rights away to the Bears, but he ultimately decided to work as a foam rubber salesman.
Wow.
Yes.
Who did they get for him?
I don't know. I didn't look.
The Bears.
I didn't go that far.
I get a deep dive.
But I think that's hilarious that they're the ones that were like, oh yeah, let's do a draft, and the first pick that they select doesn't even sign with them, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I like it. Very good trivia. Philadelphia Eagles, not bad. All right, we are waiting for this next pick, and then we'll say goodnight. For everybody else, thank you for tuning in. We will be back with a season preview show a couple week or two before the NFL season starts, going over any other news, and then we are going to be back for the NFL season 2023. Excited to see what that brings. You got anything before picking and get out of here?
No, I'm excited to see kind of these last 2/3 picks, right? What happens? What teams do, if there's any other kind of surprises that occur and happen. I'm excited for day 2 and day 3, or and see what our teams do, what the Jets do, what the Giants do, what some other teams that have some big needs. It'll be.
I tell you, I'm excited for the movies coming out soon.
I know. I'm watching the same
Doctor
thing.
Strange and there's a bunch of good movies coming out. Some blockbusters. They finally, blockbuster season movies coming back. Everybody's pretty excited.
Yep.
Pick is in. Philadelphia Eagles. Pizza Hut draft moment for Trayvon Walker. First overall pick wasn't. He was at home. Yeah, good for this kid, Sauce Gardner. I don't know about that pick. I mean, I know he's a very good prospect. For all that we've heard from the Jets is that you build from the trenches. All you've seen from San Fran and Salah's time is you don't. They
Yeah.
build through DN. I mean, they were DN, and I think the best cornerback he ever had was a washed up Richard Sherman. So that's where this kind of baffles me a little bit, and I just thought that, and I think he's going to be good. Someone like Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah,
Could be the guy, but
maybe the Jets think that they can get somebody, a steal defensive end, in the second round with one of their picks.
Karlaftis, I guess. I wouldn't be unhappy with him.
Whoa, what? Another trade?
What?
Oh no. Oh, this was from before.
Yeah. The Eagles got.
Yeah.
This was the earlier trade. Oh wait, no, the Eagles trade up.
No, was
Oh,
it?
Eagles traded up. Yeah, Eagles traded up to 13 from the Texans pick. I didn't even realize that. So another trade. They got a first and a couple of late rounders, mid to late rounders, dropping back 2 picks. Is it 2? They dropped back 2 slots, or was that the was it
50? It's either 15 or
13
16.
for 15? Yeah, 15. Yeah, because they also have 18 slots. So I didn't know if they jumped up 5 spots. So pick is in. So they clearly jump ahead of the Ravens. I mean, Jordan Davis, are they going to go after the big man? They think maybe Baltimore's going to take Jordan Davis at 14. I mean, putting him on that defensive line is scary. There's a band playing.
Yeah, I think so. Can't really tell.
Sweet Caroline, I think. There's a lot of drunk fans.
Oh yeah, I mean they're in Vegas. This will be interesting to see what they do here.
Is this the punt and pass group? All right, so let's see here. Eagles, after making a trade, coming up to the selection podium, and they will take. They're just doing, I guess, the punt, pass, and kick.
Flag football captains for teams across
flag football.
Las Vegas County.
Or okay.
Clark County. Right?
Clark County, I think it is, yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the Eagles traded up for. I did have Eagles taking Davis at 15. Maybe, Baltimore really did want someone like that at 14, so they're jumping ahead of them. Maybe it's for a cornerback, someone like Trent McDuffie, or Kyle Hamilton's still there. Oh, Jordan Davis called it. They jumped ahead of the Baltimore Ravens to get Jordan Davis. The guy is a monster. Jordan Davis, probably one of my favorite prospects in the draft. 6'6", 340, monster space eater, and an extremely fast human for such a big size. I think he was 4'5", 40, but, obviously great pass value at the defensive tackle position, and great power and just a great starting nose tackle in multiple fronts. So Eagles to go Jordan Davis. So that will do it for our NFL draft coverage. We're excited for the NFL season to start. Jets, thank you for making that 4 pick. Unhappy for me, and Giants, good job on that draft. AJ, got anything before we head out?
No, like I said, just excited to see what happens, the rest of this first round and for the rest of the draft, like I said, for the next 2 days, and excited for football to gear up again.
Well, we'll be back soon, and appreciate all the time, and thanks for listening. This is Football Primetime.